and welcome. This is Ruth Hamilton, and today I'm going to have a look at some of the more unusual things that you can do with the crystal drop collection from TONIC Studios. Now, if you haven't been here before, I'd love you to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be able to see lots more videos as they come along, and there are lots more playlists there with different things from TONIC Studios in it, and I have other craft things as well that come up of my own that aren't necessarily from TONIC. So if you do like that kind of thing, don't forget to follow along, and thank you very, very much. Leave me a little comment too and let me know what kind of things you like, and then I'll maybe incorporate that into another video for you too. So at the moment I have a collection of crystal drops and vintage drops, dream drops, jewel drops, glitter drops. In fact, I've got almost everything sitting out in front of me here, but that's for another video. I actually have one made, but it's just not entirely edited, so that will be coming up very, very soon. But today I'm just going to go along with some of the things that I've already done here and show you how you can do this really, really easily. Now, these are actually out of my garden, the pebbles. So I bought these for the garden a long, long time ago, and then I just cleaned them up and brought them in. But the other two here are little pieces of driftwood, and this is a shell that I'm actually not sure where it came from. But today I'm just going to have a look at how easy it is just to change these up a little bit, and you can make a little paperweight. You can pop that in a book just to keep your book opened, or you can set them into pot plants. You could actually probably even coat these with some kind of varnish and put them outside if you like, but I like just to keep these inside and keep them around my desk or just wherever I'm working, so hopefully you'll like that too. Now, first of all, I've picked a rather flat stone for this one and created a rose on it, and you can see the lovely dimension there. You could obviously cover that with varnish. You'd probably lose a bit of that dimension, and that would be a pity, but it is absolutely beautiful just like that. And on this one I have followed the grain of the wood and used several types of green there. So I've got a matte, that would be the vintage drops, and I've got gloss crystal drops, and then I've got some green down here below, and the bark just blending into one of the little grooves in the actual wood itself there. And this one as well, a beautiful lavender with two shades of lavender and lilac on there, and then the leaves. So to do this one you had to leave the background ones to dry first and then add a second lot of drops on. And then this little daisy here, we've got the glitter drops in the centre, and I hope you can see that, but that's really cute as well. And I'm just going to show you how to do something really, really simple like this as well and create this lovely little pattern in the centre. So hang around, because all you're going to need is a collection of drops. You can use whatever you've got, but I will possibly put the names of some of these down below if you're interested. And one or two cocktail sticks come in handy as well. So first things first, if you're not that confident or you've never tried it before, I would suggest trying something slightly bigger, and that way you're less liable to make mistakes because you'll not need to worry about all the fine detail. So take a slightly bigger stone, and on this one I've actually covered it with a light wash of white acrylic paint, and that gives a lovely background as well. Don't forget that these are water based, so if you're really stuck and it doesn't turn out just the way you want to on the pebble, you can wash it off quickly before it all dries off, and then just give it another little coat of paint and start again. Obviously you can't do that in something like this because it will go into the grain, and that would be more difficult, but I know it's possible in this because I've done it. So there we are. And take your crystal drops or whatever colour you've picked, keep a little piece of paper or card beside you, and get out the air bubbles first of all. Just make sure there's no air trapped inside there. I generally keep these upside down, and then that helps that. So I'm going to show you how to do this little rose, and if you just follow along with me you'll see how that's done. We want to do some tight petals in the centre here, so just a few little curves like that, so you can see how they overlap like that, and we don't actually want them to be too close together in the centre there. And you can bring the edges out just a little bit and bring that into a point with your cocktail stick, and then go on again around the outside here. So another one, and remember to overlap there, and then this time this petal will be slightly wider, slightly thicker, and then come from here and overlap round there, just like that. Again, take your cocktail stick and bring those into points where the petal would be, like that. You can make it slightly wider there if you want, and generally just follow around like that. This one has actually been done in Aroma Drops, and you can smell it. It's really beautiful. But I've done this one in Moroccan Red crystal drops, and they're gloss. And I'm just going to let that sit for a moment or two and check any little parts that I think I need to bring out with the cocktail stick, and try not to have them touching, because when they're still wet and they touch, they will run into each other, but that's fine just now. So there we are. Now I want to add some leaves. So I've actually gone ahead and put my little precision tip onto this one to get this a little bit finer. So you can see there, it's very fine. And again, I'm going to take out some air there. Well, there wasn't any in that one, but I'll put the lid back onto this one. And then I'll make some leaves on here. That may look as if I didn't actually need the precision tip on it, but if you could look very closely, you'll see that I haven't actually gone right up to the edge of the petal with the green there, and that way they don't sort of merge together whenever they're not dry, and I can maneuver that and get it just looking better with the precision tip. And then because it's a rose leaf, sorry, I could manage to get some extra pieces out at the side there, which I could possibly do with a cocktail stick, but if I need to add any more drops while I'm doing it, they're there with the precision tip. And then I'll do another one here. Then I always like to add a few dots around it as well, so this is my favourite of all time. This is the buttermilk, so I'm going to just put a few little drops out there. Check, yes, no air bubbles, and we'll add a few on here. I've got a darker green here, and this one is the, let's see, Woodland Green crystal drops, and they're gloss as well. So just check for air bubbles there, and then I'm going to add just a few drops in there and there, just to give a little bit of shading in there. And I'll take my cocktail stick again and draw that out into the leaf just from the base there. And then when it gets to that stage, it's looking really lovely. But the most important thing to do is to set it aside and not fiddle with it anymore, because it's very tempting to start adding more things on or to fiddle about with it and then just mess it all up. So I'm really pleased with that one. So I've picked out a darker stone this time, and I've got gloss white and Windsor wine, and well, you can just make 4 or 5 petals or as many as you like and do them in kind of heart shapes. This one has got 5 petals on, and I actually started off with heart shapes there, but then I went on further out. And if you're wanting to do 5, I suggest you maybe do 5 lines first to give yourself a little head start. So keep a little piece of paper handy again for air bubbles and also for wiping your cocktail stick on. I don't actually have much of this gloss white left, so you can see I'm having to squeeze the bottle really well, but not to worry. So there we are. The petals don't have to be exactly the same. In fact, they're probably better if they're not. But before that dries, then this time I want to add a little bit of the Windsor wine into the centre. So I'm just going to put a little drop, check again there, a little drop in here. Now I've tried this with lighter colours and whatnot, but it actually looks better if you've got a good contrast on it, as you can see from that one with the lighter lilac and then the darker coming out. But this Windsor wine's absolutely beautiful. And you can see again that none of those are touching, and there's a little gap in the centre. So I'm just going to take the edge of the cocktail stick and then you can have a little look at it again and just check if there's anything you need to change or just to add some more pieces or whatever you need to do. Now I don't want to touch the centre of that at the moment, but I can go ahead and add my leaves in. I'm going to set that one aside to dry, and then I'll come back and do the bit in the centre afterwards. See this little, I think that's the buttermilk I've used in there, and I'm going to use it on this one as well. But I don't want to add it into the centre just yet, because that way it will draw all those other colours together. Now I've got a little piece of wood here this time, and well, I've looked at it and I didn't know whether to go this way or this way, but I think I've decided to draw some kind of almost like cow parsley on this. So I've taken this fine tip again on my little woodland green crystal drops. Sorry, it's bottle green this time. And I'm just going to follow the outline that I think would be, I've drawn it on some paper first of all, just as a little guide. And I'm just going to follow that and see how this turns out. I was so busy working away on that, I didn't even notice that my camera storage was full and, well, it cut out. But anyhow, I think I had done most of it before it did that, and you can see there that the main part that it missed was actually just lots of dots, lots of white dots on there, and I've made myself a little plaque. You could put someone's name up at the top or whatever, or you could just leave this propped up natural looking beside a plant in the house as well, maybe even with a little dusting of ink from an ink pad or on a sponge even would be even nicer around the outside of that. So that's that one, and I still have to leave these aside, so I'll come back in the morning and do those. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you the start of this one. So I hope you can see that there. I may have to zoom in a little. So I'm drawing on some tiny holly leaves with this little precision tip again, and then I'm going to add some berries, and the idea is I want to show you how you can build up the berries without overlapping them and getting them all turning into one great big blob. So you'll see as I do this, I will draw all the little holly leaves on first of all, and then I'll add dots with spaces in between. Then I'm going to leave it overnight and come back in the morning when I come back to finish these ones and add a second layer of dots in between, and that way you'll have the first lot dry when the second lot go on, and then it won't turn into one great big blob. Okay, I'm back again and it's morning time and I've left these overnight. Now, you probably wouldn't have to leave them just as long as that, but it was just the timing, so that's how it went with me. So I've come back and they're all beautifully dried and that looks really, really lovely. So I'm going to add the centre into that one now. And I've got these yellow bird glitter drops and I'm going to put that right into the centre here. And if I had done that last night, there was a chance that it could have spread out into the little petals, and I didn't want that. So I want it to sit up a little, just the way this other one does. And I will add a couple of drops of the green into that with this tiny precision tip again. And there you are. And I just need to leave that aside to dry now as well. Now, in between time, I have gone ahead and finished off the little wooden plaque. I took some of this absolutely beautiful, I love this stuff, it's the classic jute twine Craft Perfect stuff, and it's really, really fine, it's beautiful. So instead of inking around the outside of this wooden plaque, I put some of my deluxe adhesive round the outside and added the twine round, and when I got to the corners I just flipped it over, it made a little twist, carried on, and then I put a little bow up at the top there to cover where the join was, and I'm really, really pleased with the way that has turned out as well. Now obviously you could make that a lot more colourful, you could put the roses, you could actually put a full bouquet or whatever you wanted on that one, but I thought the simplicity of the kind of cow parsley and the wood and just the green and natural colours looked really, really beautiful in that one. And then for my next one I have added the crystal drops and made the holly and the berries there, and this morning I'm going to go ahead with some of these glitter drops here. So these are Ruby Slippers glitter drops, and I'm going to just make sure I've no air bubbles there. And what I'm going to do this time is layer some of these up so they can be actually up on top of the drops that are already there, and probably this will look better in real life than it does on screen here. But I just wanted to show you that when you have one layer dry, you can go ahead and add the next layer very happily on top, and you don't need to worry about any of it blending in or mixing in with the one below, because that's perfectly dry before I'm putting this on. And you can see that I have also changed up the colour a little, and the Ruby Slippers is slightly brighter than the one below that, so there we are. Lastly, for now, I'm just going to do a little orange flower onto this shell, and then that will do, because there are so many different shapes of flowers and so many different colours and so many drops that you could actually just go on and on forever. But I'm sure if you enjoy this, let me know and I'll come back at a later stage and show you some other things that I've made. I've just got so many things made with driftwood and pebbles and shells and things, and actually I have lots of videos filmed but just not edited, so let me know what you think about that as well. Anyhow, back to this. I'm going to make a little flower here with longer petals. hopefully you can see there I've left a tiny little gap in here between the petals and the centre of the flower, and then added the leaves in with that fine nozzle again, and that's just slightly different from adding the centre of the flower in after it has dried. So that's everything that I'm going to make for now, and I really hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've realised, if you haven't tried it before, how simple that is, and you know, you can make those as simple as you like or as involved as you like, but they're just pretty little things to have sitting around your craft room, or as I said before, to use as paperweights or to put in flower pots, plants or whatever, just to set in at the edge of them. And I've got lots of these and I really enjoy making them, and every now and again, just when I feel like it, or I have a pebble or a shell that I think it would look nice on, I'll draw another one, and quite often I give them to people as well. So thanks very much for watching along. Let me know if you've enjoyed it, and also let me know if you want to see more of this kind of thing as well. And please do try it if you haven't tried it before, because it's very enjoyable, very therapeutic and very relaxing. So as always, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell, and anything else that you can think of, because I always appreciate that. I haven't used much in this that by way of things that I can link for you, but I will put the links down below to the twine, the precision nozzle, and the drops if you want to have a little look. And thank you very much for all of that. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.